Yeah. Yeah. that's so much broadcasting. That's Matthew Broderick casting.
You could watch Labyrinth. I don't know how many times. Two times.
Just 2 4-hour in slow motion. Watch it at one speed twice. That'd be weird.
It is weird.
I would do it. Is the problem?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the YouTube? Can you send the YouTube link real quick?
Do I?
Do you have it?
I just shared it on my personal page.
Okay.
And on the Cyberzone page.
Okay, good. How are you?
I'm, I slept well last night, which is good. I had a really long day. It was super busy at the store, which is good.
That is good.
Expecting to come in to work today, and then, everybody was like, everybody's crashing, so let's not do work. And then I thought I actually might go in for a little bit because I like being at work, but it's probably better that I didn't end up going to work.
Yeah.
So I can make less money. I don't know. I don't think anybody would have come. My mom's actually stopped by the store on her way from something and said there was the parking lot was empty other than Domino's delivery cars. So
that's good.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. We're good. Yeah. So do you feel better now?
I do. Yeah. I'm more rested. I'm stronger.
That's good. That's good for you. It clears up your pores.
Yeah. I sleep on those Brillo pads.
Yeah.
So it exfoliates.
So that's your pillowcase? Is just like a Brillo pad?
No, my whole bed is just like a beanbag.
The whole thing. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about a couple things.
Shoot.
Okay, well, so I'm getting back into trying to maintain a Twitch schedule.
Okay.
As we sort of discussed a little bit last night, and you helped me out with some of my stuff. I'm redesigning and putting in the chat thing and putting in an announcement for when somebody shows up. I'm sort of cleaning up the presentation, simplifying a little bit, and making it more appealing overall. That's the goal right now, anyway. And we'll correspond more, I'm sure after the show. We can figure out what we're going to end up doing ultimately. Mm-hmm. But I do like streaming a lot. I think it's fun and it's silly. And it's something that I almost feel that we should do as a together kind of thing, because I think that the banter that even last night when I was just messing around was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing sort of a live gameplay thing with you, even if you're not here. And I laugh a lot. I was laughing.
Yeah, and I just said you just have a list of things that I've ever said, or a yak back.
Yeah, exactly. The Talk Boy. Yeah, well, you have the yak back. I've got the Talk Boy.
Yeah.
I'm the Macaulay fan, and you're the Nickelodeon fan.
It's true.
Yeah.
How's Macaulay doing?
Oh, he's good, man. He's just hanging out. Yeah.
He kind of looks like Morgan now.
He does. If Morgan were dying.
Yeah. If Morgan was doing heroin.
Yeah, if they just gave him nothing but heroin and took all food away from him.
Yeah.
He looked like Macaulay Culkin. I'm in a good mood.
That's good. That's good.
Just let me know, things are good.
I've been eating corn dogs because I was not prepared for Snowmageddon.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been just eating food that's in the freezer, and there's a big box of corn dogs.
Those are good. I like corn dogs. Michael. I'm in a good mood. This is going to be a silly Cyberzone. So we have a couple things to talk about.
Yeah, big stuff.
So number one is Adrian actually asked about this, and he wanted us to bring up the Dreamcast 2, which we didn't get a chance to talk about last Wednesday because schedules just didn't coincide.
Yeah, holidays and just all that poop. So
right, it's hard to get all that put together, and that's fair. But yeah, Dreamcast 2.
Yeah.
So essentially, I haven't done a ton of research on this because when I hear about it, my first instinct is it's just people wanting a Dreamcast 2, which is totally fine, but it's not a thing. And I understand it's basically a PC style system that people are trying to market in a Sega style manner and hopefully get Sega's blessing.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, then, so it's not like Sega's coming out and saying, "Hey, we're going to do this," because Sega wouldn't do that. The best thing that anybody can do is to make something that says this is in the style and the vein of what Sega's creations are, and we want Sega to endorse this and maybe allow official support, and maybe throw back some revenue their way. But it's a concept founded off of Sega design mentality.
Well, it seems odd that's because I didn't know that. Like I saw the day that it came out that they like announced it, and then I kind of stopped following it. So it seems odd to me that they would go so far as to have like a launch page, and then basically push the concept that this is the Dreamcast 2, and then be like, well, hopefully Sega lets us do that. Like that just seems.
It seems like an 8-year-old kid like proposing an idea to his parents that he thinks are going to say yes to.
Right, yeah.
No one's even like hinted at that.
He packs his bag to go to Disneyland and is like, "Hey, I'm already packed to go to Disneyland, so we should just go."
Yeah, pretty much is more or less what it ended up being, which is it's sad. It's like one of those pipe dreams that a bunch of hopeful fans go, "We're going to do this, and because we put so much effort into it, Sega will say yes." And it doesn't work like that at all, unfortunately. Though I feel that if any company might give their blessing, like Sega, be like, "Yeah, sure,"
Yeah.
One of the companies that like they're really cool with fan projects and they really embrace the community super well. So, but I don't foresee it getting beyond just a name.
Unfortunately, no. Yeah.
So that's too bad. The Dreamcast 2.
Yeah.
It's black.
Yeah, I just got a black Dreamcast. Actually, I got the sports Dreamcast yesterday. So,
and we sort of discussed this the other day, very very briefly, that the only reason I believe that the Dreamcast did not succeed is because it was not black.
Right.
All Sega's has been black prior.
Yeah, except for the Japanese Saturn.
Right. Yeah, I guess that was gray. Which gray, there's some gray area. That's why the PlayStation 1 did already. Because it was gray, and then the PlayStation 2 went to black to succeed.
So if I understood Adrian's question correctly, he wanted to talk about like what you want the Dreamcast 2 to be. Yeah, if it did, specs, features, etc. Okay. So how do you feel about that? What would you want the Dreamcast 2, assuming that it actually was a bigger announcement than we think it is to be?
Okay. So if it actually came out, like what would I be like? This is okay. So if the Dreamcast 2 were to show up on my doorstep and I could be like, this thing can do whatever I want, I would want it to play Dreamcast games upscaled to like 1080p or 720p, whatever, like that. 720 is fine, but 1080 would be fine at their optimal frame rates. So I'd want it to be fully backwards compatible and cooperative with Dreamcast titles. Like 100% compatibility. So like there's not like any weird artifacting thing that goes on with 2D games or
C-Man doesn't have microphone support.
Exactly. Yeah, everything works just fine. Microphone's built into the controller. It has a tiny VMU screen built into the controller. But it would be like higher resolution in full color. So that way, like it wouldn't be terribly complex. It would just be like another VMU style chip. So that way games could have the VMU experience, but they could also emulate the old VMU Dreamcast experience to the T. So, but like the difference would be that you would actually be able to transfer the VMU app to your phone. So if you wanted to go on the go and remotely train Chun-Li for Street Fighter Alpha 3 or whatever, you could do it through your phone and then sync it back up with your controller later.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as what else it could do, I guess it would just be another console that would have more Sega games. I don't know. See, this is why like when I looked at this idea, I kept thinking, what would they even do as a sequel system?
Honestly, I thought about it as well, and I thought of a way that it could, if it was a Sega project, that it could potentially work. And it's kind of an odd thing, because what I thought it would wind up as is a Steam machine. It would just be a Steam machine.
Sure.
But it would have an optical drive of some kind that Sega could make proprietary games for. So it'd be like a console, a Sega console that's also a Steam machine. So they could they can say, yeah, you can get all these games that you want on Steam, but also you can get our games exclusively for the system.
Okay. And full Dreamcast backwards compatibility?
No.
Just drop that entirely. Name alone.
Yeah.
Oh,
it seems very odd to release a system, 17 years after the fact and be like, well, we want to support the previous generation. Like, they might as well have a 32X card slot on it. No.
So what if it did? What if it actually did, like the Dreamcast 2, did have the ability to play any Sega Legacy game?
So it was like a Retron.
It was, basically a Sega Retron. It could play Dreamcast, it could play Saturn, it could play them all at like optimal resolution. But it was powerful enough to run anything like a PC, like a modern day PC, very competently. Because I figure if Sega wanted to release this, like all people would say is, "I'll just grab a PC, I'll just buy a PC," and they don't even care about Sega games. But the legacy Sega games, I think, would be the most appealing part of it. Even though they can emulate most of those, I think there's still kind of a charm in shoving your cartridge into a machine's butt for it to play.
It would be nice.
Because imagine throwing Panzer Dragoon Saga on there and installing it to your hard drive, because everybody loves that. And then you could play it with all 3 discs. You don't have to swap them out, and it runs perfect resolution, 60 frames a second, and it can load between discs instantly.
No,
that sounds awful.
Yeah, I don't know. It does kind of suck because the Saturn is really the only Sega system that doesn't emulate well.
Yeah.
The Dreamcast has some texture dropping and stuff like that, but if you own a Dreamcast, you technically kind of own a Dreamcast emulator too. So it's a dual purpose machine.
It is. It's true. Okay. What else did Adrian ask? He asked a couple other things.
He said, strange games that have been released. How fix, how do, i.e. Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City, starring Brendan Fraser. And he spelled Fraser like Fraser Crane.
It's like a crossover?
Yeah. Like
they had a child.
Right. But they took his first name instead of his last name.
Brendan Fraser Crane.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser Crane and Lynch.
Ooh.
Yeah, Dog Days.
Brendan Fraser, Crane, and Jane Lynch, starring in the new Frasier 2.
Frasier
without the blessing of
fan project by them.
Yeah, even though it's Frasier's son.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I wish. Okay. What I encourage people to do as well too, and I don't know if anybody did, is I want people to ask us questions.
Yeah. Where should they do that? On the Facebook?
The Facebook is probably the easiest way to do it, and we can check it accordingly.
We're watching it. We're watching you.
You're watching. They're watching me instead of posing questions.
Yeah. Stop that. Close your eyes and ask questions.
Yeah, I need you guys to stop looking at me. It's weird. It's like a weird voyeuristic.
Yeah, you're like really choppy and crackly.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay.
Hi. Hi.
I see my screen froze. For me.
Yeah, it's froze.
That's funny. It'll be back.
Yep.
Someday.
And so did you have a good holiday?
It was nice. It was very low key. Chilled with the family. I can't remember. I can't remember straight up just now. We can listen. Let's see. Hold on.
Holding out.
I can't articulate if I.
And there he goes. All right. Well, we are waiting for your questions. Give me your questions.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Question.
Hello. Okay. So, Christmas, I got a hoodie, and I got some little tapas dishes.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're green. So now I can make appetizers for people, and then we can eat them.
I also got a hoodie and a chip and dip set.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
The favorite part about being an adult now is that I can just get stuff like I got some nail clippers and some chapstick. And I was like, dang.
Yeah, it looks like a fake Xbox controller.
That's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, it arrived like super broken, so I have to ship that back. But
that sucks. So not just like one chip, but like just 14 pieces.
Yeah, I opened the box and just like ceramic dust like poured all over my lap.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do for Christmas?
Let me remember. We went to Aaron's parents for brunch we went to dinner there Christmas Eve, and then we opened presents and went to brunch.
Okay.
And then we had kind of just a relaxing afternoon, and I had some friends in from out of town. I still do. And they came over and we played some games, I think. Maybe we didn't. No, we did, yeah. And we went to Denny's, which was a terrible idea because they were the only restaurant open. And the service was terrible. The food was pretty terrible, too. Yeah, pretty decent crowd of people there. But you got to eat. That's the rule on Christmas. If you don't eat, Santa kills you. So
that's what he does. That's his shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bites your butthole, and then it gets infected all the way through your body, and you die.
Right.
Santa has like those you know how cats have sort of like a fluid in their teeth. It's like a deep rooted, almost like a poison. You know, like a
yeah.
That's what Santa has, but like just in like the tips of all of his incisors. Yeah, so he could even just like nibble part of your butthole like really briefly, and you get infected
with tiny Santas.
Tiny Santas or elves or dead ghosts.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That's a shame. But you know what?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
And then you did a stream. I watched you even after I was gone. We watched you play Ninja Gaiden.
I can't beat it, Michael.
You can, John. You just have to. I'm telling you. I did it. I know you can do it. There's just a couple key rules to that game that you just have to follow.
Yeah.
That 6-2 is a bitch of a level, and 6-3 is bad too. But
like if I get to 6-3, it's all right because you can continue from there. I just gotta make my way through 6-3 carefully.
Yeah. There's a lot of like posturing of, well, I don't have enough life, so I'm just gonna jump in this hole.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to go back.
Yeah, I think that's what I gotta do, and not think that maybe I'll just try it because that's not gonna work.
It is a time investment though. Like I use the Retron to its fullest capabilities because if you remember, every time you beat a phase of the boss, he stays dead as long as the game is still on.
Yes.
So you just have to grind the 6th world a lot.
So here's what I'm doing. I'm actually I just loaded up and I was playing on the Wii U today because I'm at like the same spot essentially, and that has like the save state kind of thing and like the auto.
Okay.
You turn it off. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it on that. But dang man, it's that's a rough game. And there's certain parts that I can feel myself getting better at.
Mm-hmm.
The random elements that I go, I don't know what to do, and sometimes it's fine, and sometimes it's miserable.
You just got to throw a lot of sub weapons.
Yeah.
It's not Castlevania. You got to just burn all that shit.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I'll do it. Oh, going back to 6-1 is so awful.
It is. It is.
So when I get to the boss, I think it's like Jacchio floating around the room. There's the orb in the center.
Yep. That's the first boss.
So if I kill that one, I start on boss 2 after.
Yes.
Okay, and then boss 3 after that.
Yes.
Okay, so if I can just get past that, then ultimately, like, it's discouraging, but it's not undoable. Yeah.
Right. When you beat one of the, like, knowing that when you beat one of the bosses, you're just like, okay, like all I have to do is do what I did again, and then do it to the second boss, and then do it again, and do it to this third boss.
Yeah.
I assumed that you can beat all 3 of them in one shot, but I don't know how the fuck you would do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, because what in like speedruns,
yeah,
because people are monsters at that game, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, when I did Ninja Gaiden 3 a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I did really well. Like, I think that's a decent, like, it wasn't the fastest, obviously. I mean, I made some mistakes, but I didn't use any continues. So I was like, I bet like that's a pretty good time. And I went and looked it up, and like the people speedrun Ninja Gaiden 3, like tool assisted in 11 minutes and live in like 15 or 16. And it took me like 50. I was like, well, I feel good, but I don't feel as good anymore.
Yeah. But you did it, though. At the very least.
Yeah.
Like, it happened. You did it. You were able
right. I can say I've finished all, like, those to me are the kind of, like, what are the games that, NES games in particular, that you think are considered, like, the hardest?
So most people cite Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. I've done all 3 of those.
Ghosts and Goblins.
I did it as a kid, but I can't do it now. I've tried and I cannot.
For many times, and I just cannot do it. These last bosses, man.
I can't even get through the blue cave where there's just nothing but red armors and you have to like go up.
Yeah.
And like that's the only way to get past them is like by ducking. But since you're going up, they're just like, haha, no.
You just can't, yeah.
I have no idea how to deal with that as an adult.
Pretty awful. Pretty awful. But I like it. There's a charm in the NES difficulty, and I'm okay with that. So I don't get mad at Ninja Gaiden. It's frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
Like, other things that make me so much angrier in other video games, but like maybe it's like the way it's designed. It doesn't bother me that it's difficult. It doesn't bother me that it's frustrating beyond like reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. Like to me, it's a parameter that's set that I know it's doable. But yeah, it's because there's some games that I'll play and I'll be like, this is just designed poorly. And maybe you should say the same with Ninja Gaiden, but I don't get mad at it. I'll just keep playing. I'll keep playing over and over and over.
Right.
You know? And
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is an NES game. And so NES games have kind of a shorter length. Like if Ninja Gaiden was a 30-hour game and it was that hard, like a 30-hour game on a clean run, and it was that hard, yeah, it'd be terrible.
Yeah. The fact you can beat the game in like 15 minutes, 20 if you know what you're doing, or like opposite. You could beat the game within half an hour, no problem if you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man games, I can go through at this point with very little issue because that's just, you know it. But the first time through, it's hours and hours of dying. I mean,
yeah.
10, 15.
I played through the Legacy Collection finally. Like I still have a lot of the challenges to do it to get gold medals on. But I wanted to play through all the games again. And I think I got maybe like 2 game overs across all 6 games.
Yeah, see, that's not bad at all. Because you know what's going on. You've been doing it for so long.
Yeah. Like I was just like, okay, I'll play till I get a game over. And then I beat like Mega Man 2, 3, and I got to Wily's Castle in 4. I was like, all right, well, that took a lot more time than I expected, but I'll take it.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Michael, do you speak Russian?
Niet.
You took a little bit of it, though, right?
No, my dad speaks Russian. I studied Spanish.
So, like, can you understand Russian at all?
No. Except for Niet. Vodka.
Tetris. Pajitnov.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
I was thinking about when we were playing, or I think I was streaming GoldenEye Reloaded or whatever.
Yeah.
The Wii some years back, and I remember like I pushed some Russian dude out of a truck, and he went, his Russian accent is terrible. Now I have no idea. I couldn't tell at all, but I remember he made a point of that, and I was like, okay, just right on. And for the years and years, I kept thinking, how much Russian, like.
Nope, none.
None.
I know a couple words. Yeah.
Yeah. Game Boy. Final Atomic Buster.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could learn any language, what would it be?
I hate to say it. It would be Japanese. And it would be like strictly on a functional level for me. Like I wouldn't want to like converse in Japanese. I would just want to be able to play Japanese games.
No, I fully agree. Oh, and one question real quick before I forget. So I'll forget to ask you later if I don't ask you now.
Okay.
When is your buddy coming through to pick up the stuff? Because I have all the stuff at the store for you.
He was supposed to come through sometime tonight, like later tonight.
Okay.
But he also said that his dad doesn't want to drive through because they're coming from Denver in one day down to Cruces.
Okay.
And so road conditions here are fine now. Everything's melted off since I fell asleep.
Yeah.
But I don't know what their plan is. I told him I can just like have him shoot me a reminder.
Okay, and then you can just message me because I want to figure this out because I've got a bunch of your stuff and surprises.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So, if you could kiss any villain from Darkwing Duck, who would it be?
Not Negavolt. He looks gross.
You just insulted.
I remember I think like as a kid, I gave my brother, because like when you're a kid, you just give Valentines indiscriminately, right?
Yeah.
That's why they come like 30 to a box. Like you're not like courting everyone. You have to give everyone a Valentine.
Yeah, even the boys.
Yeah. And I think I gave him a Negavolt Valentine, and for reasons that are unclear to me, he like stuck it to a cork board, and it was just there for like years. And I just remember looking at him like, ugh, he's gross.
That's a gross boy. I don't want to date him. Have you ever gotten a Valentine from like a girl that you liked?
I don't think so. I think once I got to like the age where I was dating girls, I don't remember like getting, like, I'll get presents,
Mm-hmm.
Like nice things will happen, but I don't remember like getting like a paper Valentine.
They say nice things will happen. You mean like a puppy is born in like a field?
Yeah. Yeah. Circumstances are just pleasant.
Yeah. Okay. Or like you open up the fridge and there's like a Jello.
Ugh.
Jello.
No,
you don't like Jello?
I don't like Jello. Jello is gross.
Okay, there's a fresh.
I like Jello pudding.
Okay, what about a fresh cream pie?
Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty good. Okay. What have you been playing? I was watching you play. Anything. Did I watch you play anything recently? No, I didn't.
I don't think so. I didn't stream it. I tried to stream yesterday, and I was just too tired. Yeah. So I was thinking like, I don't want to play like an action game because my reflexes are going to be crap.
Right.
So I'll play RoboTrek.
I remember. I saw you post about that.
And I did like one battle. I played through the first 30 minutes of the game. I did like the first battle, and then I was like, I'm falling asleep. I'm gonna turn off the stream.
Yeah.
I have been playing a stupid amount of Rocket League.
Oh, okay.
I think I got the game like Wednesday, and I've got 17 hours in it already. It's so fun to me. I just enjoy the hell out of this game.
Good. Need to play something like that. Yeah.
I really feel like a lot of, if people think that like every game is just an Assassin's Creed sequel or a new Call of Duty, they're not paying attention to the fact that so many really inventive ideas, and not just inventive ideas, but well executed inventive ideas have come out in the past like year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's it's simple things like Rocket League. Well, it's soccer, but there's cars instead of people, and you can fly.
Are there people in the cars?
It's unclear. There are people in the stands, but they're just sort of like primary colored circles that bob up and down.
Okay, so it could be like circles in the car.
Yeah. Or those aren't stands; they're just some kind of like giant engine with a million pistons.
Oh, that's true. To power the arena.
Yeah.
To power the ball. It's weird because like when I see Rocket League, what I think of instinctively, from like a more primitive visual standpoint, is like that Metroid Federation Hunters or whatever for the 3D they're showing. Just cyber soccer zones or whatever.
Yeah, and it is kind of the same thing, which is funny because everyone loves Rocket League from what I know, and then they see that Metroid game and they're like, Nintendo is the shittiest poop of shit.
Yeah.
And granted, I saw that like the game didn't look great.
Right.
Like, I was kind of disappointed with just sort of the overall presentation of it, but whatever. Like if it's fun.
Yeah, it might be fun. I have no idea. I'm excited to play it. We'll see what happens. If you could mix, okay, so how like there's like the Mario sports games.
Mm-hmm.
Mario volleyball, there's Mario tennis, there's Mario Olympics, there's Mario soccer, baseball, everything.
Yeah.
You could choose one Mario or one Nintendo franchise and any sports franchise. What would you choose? And it has to be limited to just that particular IP. So you couldn't be like Smash Brothers baseball.
Right.
You have like Earthbound badminton.
Yeah.
Or like Metroid Hylia.
Just like an arm cannon with a scoop on the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any friend, and so it doesn't have to be Nintendo. It could be anybody. It could be like Sonic, or Vector-Man, I guess, Like a physical sport, not like Vector-Man checkers.
Chess.
Yeah. Glad we're both. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ultimate sports fantasy game.
I think it would be really cool to take something like Tekken Bowl already exists.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like taking a silly kind of like fighting game. Like imagine a Street Fighter basketball game.
I would play it so much.
And you can just like throw a Hadouken into someone's back as they're going for a jump shot.
Knock them over.
Yeah.
So a Hadouken. I want to think about this for a second. It's like an energy blast.
Quick side note. Everyone wants to know if the package is large.
Not like crazy big. I mean, not super large.
Would you say that it's like I don't know. Did you say you could like hold it easily?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get you like a bike or anything.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so Hadouken physics.
Okay, Hadouken physics. All right, so in the Hadouken itself are little Ryu fists.
Right.
Wave of energy.
Yeah, so, my understanding is that in real life, you wouldn't be able to see a Hadouken. You would just get like shoved.
So so it's more of somebody's pushing you rather than like punching you.
Yeah. Because it's not like fists. Like he's not punching. They're open.
They're open. Yeah.
It's like a shove, like a two-handed shove.
That's mean. Who would go back in time to shove Jesus?
Oh, I just got the final season of Upright Citizens Brigade for Christmas this year.
Holy crap.
Right. I'm really excited. And I was trying to remember because I saw it there and I was like, oh, if we're going to talk about Christmas presents, like what was the sketch that John enjoyed? And it was that one. It was the Time Machine.
It was the very first episode I ever saw, and I taped it, and I watched it so many times.
I still need to show it to Michael.
Yeah, he'd really like it.
Okay, next question. Which store is it at? Or is it at your house? Or
what's at the Wyoming store. Everything at the Wyoming store.
Excellent.
Yeah. Which should be good.
Yeah, who would shove Jesus?
Zangief,
yeah. He would green hand through his like handshake.
Yeah.
And then spinning pile driver him.
Yeah, put Jesus right into his back. Okay, so Street Fighter basketball.
Yeah.
So if Ryu were to throw a Hadouken into Zangief, is there a penalty, or is it going to be more like just a free for all kind of? You're allowed to destroy your opponent while you're playing basketball, or are there still set rules?
It would probably by default. By default, it would be like an anything goes, just melee. But okay. I do like the idea of incorporating penalties. Like if there's a mode where you had to just play within reason, like certain kind of Street Fighter rule. Because in Street Fighter, you don't really hit people in the back, right? They're always facing you.
Right, yeah.
So maybe you get a penalty for hitting someone from behind.
Okay. Well, if they're approaching you with the basketball and you decide to Shoryuken, and
that's legal.
Whatever, you're fine. But if you hit them in the back of the head, that's no go.
Right. That's dangerous.
They don't
let you do that in UFC.
That's true. Okay. All right. And would you have the full roster?
Yeah, I would want maybe not the full roster, but a good selection, maybe 30 to 45 characters from across Street Fighter lore.
Okay, so Street Fighter 4 essentially has got a really good spread.
Yeah, I would want some different ones. I think Sean would have to be the face of Street Fighter basketball.
Yeah, he'd be the one putting on the tournament.
Yeah. He's well, I can't win at Street Fighter, but you guys have to beat me in basketball.
Yeah, okay. So Sean's Street Basketball Challenge. This feels like this really should have happened for the Super Nintendo. I'm really surprised in the heyday of Looney Tunes and Charles Barkley and all of these franchises trying to make basketball games.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes B-Ball, Michael.
That existed, yeah. So did Rap Jam Volume 1.
Volume 1 and not a Volume 2.
No,
they tried.
Probably because the rappers, imagine who, Rap Jam came out kind of late. I think it was 94 or 95.
Yeah.
And the rappers felt very, dated. like Queen Latifah and LL Cool J, I think, was in it. Naughty by Nature was in it. I don't think Coolio was playable. When really, like, in that time frame, Tupac and like Notorious B.I.G. were getting popular. So I think Volume 2 would have been like an East Coast, West Coast.
Okay. So it's like Def Jam Zero Mission, Def Jam Basketball.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good. I really like the Def Jam games. Well,
they're fun.
First two.
Yeah, the third one.
Yeah, it sucked because it looked really cool. I remember getting the demo, and I remember like the background's like pulsating with the music, and I was like, that looks neat, and it was just awful to play.
I remember really enjoying like the voicemails that Sean Paul would leave you without subtitles that were indecipherable. Like he's telling you where to go next, and it's just like was
it Bernie Mac? It's like totally a foreign language. So you played a bit of Def Jam Vendetta. So I think they really improved even on the first one, like, or was it Vendetta was the first one?
I think Vendetta was the first one, then Fight for New York was the second one. But they were both really good.
They both were really good. I remember being excited that they actually had like some music industry folks like Henry Rollins in there.
Yeah,
you know,
like I like the idea that it was sort of like almost like an SNL sketch or something, or The Simpsons. It was like The Simpsons, where it's like everyone's got to do Def Jam.
Yeah, yes, everybody was in it. Speaking of Simpsons, that is a franchise. Homer.
That's what I think of like Simpsons when you just put a coin in the arcade game.
Oh,
Homer.
I was thinking of how like that series has a history of games that I don't like.
Yeah, there's very few, and like the ones that I do enjoy, I've talked to people about, and they're like, "Oh, I hate that one."
Yeah, like arcade game.
I don't like the arcade game.
I like it the most because it's a beat 'em up, but even beat 'em ups, like there's nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel satisfying to play because like when you hit things, your strokes just sort of like go through. It doesn't feel like you're
there's no contact. It's just like a punch, and like the punch is on the top sprite layer, so it just like covers everything.
Maybe I liked it because it looked good, or like it felt more.
If the Simpsons arcade game was like 3 levels long, I would really like that game. But if you've ever played it to completion,
it's a long game.
It takes so long.
Yeah,
and none of the fights are fair.
Oh no, they're just quarter crunchers. There's literally no fun to it. You're literally just playing a game to play it.
I think Hit and Run is a pretty decent game.
Oh, that's true. Hit and Run is actually probably my favorite. Hit and Run was fun.
And I've had people be like, "Oh, Hit and Run was terrible," and I'm like, "That's interesting."
Yeah.
Or maybe I was thinking of Road Rage. I don't know because there's 2 of them. I forgot that there's 2 of them.
That's right, because Road Rage is the crazy taxi one, and Hit and Run GTA style open world Springfield, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking because we got a copy of The Simpsons Wrestling traded in, and it's yeah. In the heyday of like lots of wrestling games for 2 systems.
Yep.
It just wasn't.
I actually enjoyed the Simpsons game, the one that was on PS3 and.
The 3D one. I never really. Was it fun?
It was. I wouldn't call it fun, but I would say it was like a B minus kind of. Like it had good writing, but the game wasn't very good.
Sure. Okay.
Like, it was kind of cool. Like, it felt. It even though it was as late as it was, it had a lot of feeling of like classic Simpsons a little bit, like just sort of like poking fun at it. There's a whole level because it's self-aware. It's a self-aware video game,
right?
And there was a level where like you have to deal with rejected. It was like a broken level that wasn't complete yet, and it was full of rejected characters, and it was all Futurama characters. Like you had to fight a billion like Fries and Benders.
That's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm looking at the page to see if there's any new questions.
Questions?
Yeah, quoi, Gaston? Okay, nothing. No questions. Give us your goddamn questions. So you know what movie I watched the other day, and I just remembered how wonderful it was?
Yeah. Yeah, I do know. That's a good movie.
Makes me laugh a lot.
Steve Martin always surprises me because in my mind I'm like, he's really well loved, and he makes like decent movies that I'm just like they're good. Like they're not amazing, but they're good. But every time I watch something with Steve Martin in it, or like once I even bought a Steve Martin book at a Family Dollar, and it was amazing. He's really funny. He's a really funny dude.
He is. He's got good delivery. His 80s stuff, man. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say not Uncle Buck. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's still
classic.
Phenomenal. So sitting here talking about the Steve Martin movies now.
Yeah.
This is at the Cyber Zone. See, the Cyber Zone is an evolution of thought.
Right.
Yeah.
We start with video games because it's the common denominator.
Right, exactly.
Well, it's what you as the audience expect, but that's not where we reside.
No, we'll talk about literally anything. We talked about the buoyancy of German babies. This one always gets brought up because I'm trying to think of the most abstract science concepts that we talk about, and that was one of the best, I think. I think it's because I can't remember. Do German babies they're warm-blooded?
Yeah.
And so they float because heat rises.
Exactly, yeah. You can't drown them.
They'll just come back up to the top.
It's like holding. Have you ever tried to like take a beach ball and like push it underwater and hold it there?
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
It's a German.
Right.
Beach balls are a German invention.
Beach balls are just a protective egg around a German unborn baby.
That's right. It's just German eggs. It's like a Kinder egg or whatever.
Yeah. which are illegal. Like someone brought up that we don't take away our guns, and like all these like really poor decisions. Like don't tell me I can't eat food that's 95% high fructose corn syrup and the other 5% like hydrogenated fat.
Yeah.
But we don't let Kinder eggs exist in this country because they have a toy inside of them and you might eat it.
Yeah. That's unacceptable.
It's silly. We do have a few questions. We have a question from Morgan, we have a question from Adrian, and we have a question from Aaron.
All right, let's go.
Which one do you want?
Let's start sequentially. So you said Morgan?
Yeah. Yeah. Morgan says, if you were on a desert island and you must make the best game you can possibly think of, and that will be the only game you can then play for the rest of your life, but you can only utilize 3 games to create this Uber game from, what 3 games would you pick? You get 10 years to modify the capabilities of your games in whatever way you like, and an ultra editing tool that allows you to pull from any asset within the game. So basically, you can take 3 games and sort of like beta test and put together one game out of the 3 that is the only game you can play for the rest of your life on a desert island.
But I have to use existing assets. I can't say like I want a new Mario game and then pick like, well, because my answer is I'm thinking of like the Ninja Turtles game. So I'd have to take Arkham City or whatever, or Arkham Knight, whatever. One of those Batman games with like a really solid engine. I have to take that, but then if I want to get like the Turtles characters and voices and stuff, do I have to take a Turtles game as well?
I think you would, yeah.
All right. So that's a little bit unfortunate because most of them don't have assets that I really want that much.
Yeah, they have really bad voices.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'd probably choose some sort of like new F-Zero.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do I'm going to choose F-Zero GX.
Okay.
You're going to think this is a waste. A new F-Zero GX, but I'm going to have the F-Zero X expansion for the 64DD, so I can
you can pick your own tracks.
Exactly, to give myself far more content. The Bionic Commando grappling hook. So I guess those 3 games, 2 F-Zero games and Bionic Commando. All right, I'm good.
Okay.
I would play it for a very long time.
My answer is not much better, honestly, because I'm thinking about it, and I was like, well, I would take like the core engine of Beatmania, like the controller of Beatmania.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what would I need to add to that to make me satisfied? Because I'm already kind of good.
Yeah. It was like a music editor, right?
Yeah, like if I could have like Mario Maker's editing capabilities.
Okay. Was that only visual? Or did you say like editing capabilities, period?
Yeah, like an engine with which I can edit things.
Okay. Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
And then the guy who says the bouncer at the beginning of the bouncer.
Is it just his voice saying it once?
Like every time the game starts, it's like the bouncer.
And then the bouncer is the name of your Ultimate Music game.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. It's kind of a tough question, actually.
Yeah, it is. Because I think, although, you've really got me thinking about this, because I think a lot of people might be surprised. You're a big Nintendo fan. But I think when people think of people who play a lot of video games, they kind of assume that they sort of fit into specific genres. They think like, oh, well, John probably enjoys Zelda, and he probably enjoys, like, maybe he likes the new Halo 5,
Maybe, yeah, sure.
And like The Witcher, and like a nice big questy RPG. People are sometimes like a little surprised when they tell them like, oh, like, what do you play? And I'm like, I play a lot of like Street Fighter and music games. And they're like, what, Guitar Hero? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I like to play. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I don't know if
But
he was being F-Zero fanatic.
yeah, and I was thinking about this, like, I really, really enjoy like arcade style racing games. I love them. They're so much fun to me. And it's hard to tell someone like, hey, yeah, like I've got this library of PS2 RPGs, but I just want to play Ridge Racer 5 today. Like that's all I want to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Shadow of the Colossus can wait. I want to like zip around turns really quickly.
Really fast. Exactly. I'd play F-Zero GX over almost anything still to this day.
Yeah.
It's weird because my taste range from like my hierarchy is for whatever reason. I love Mario games. I love Mega Man. I love Zelda. I love a lot of Metroid. I love many things. But F-Zero is just something I have come back to so consistently. Always just enjoying the thrill that no other game has given me. But like my top 3 kinds of games are like, if I had to choose my top 3 favorite, mostly as a generalization, it'd probably be like Mega Man 9, F-Zero GX, and Bayonetta 2. Like those are like the 3. That's like the spread that makes me happiest.
Yeah.
Those 3 games encompass everything I need.
F-Zero GX is a good game. It's a really good game.
All day, man. All day.
Just the entire presentation.
Yeah. They put a lot.
Like you can build your own cars. You can.
There's a lot of work put into that game. You can draw your own emblems. There's the super difficult story mode. Every character has an ending movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot went into it.
Next question.
Okay, next question.
I need to find Adrian's third question. Here it is. Okay. Also, because I know you guys will argue about anything, ice cream sandwich versus tube sock.
Are we talking about like the merits? Because I like for eating or putting on your feet, because both.
I think it's just sort of like an epic rap battle, like which is the best.
I like ice cream sandwiches a lot.
I do too.
This question's gonna stagnate instantly.
Yeah, this is the problem with the unfortunate 2 items you chose is that I hate socks. I hate socks.
You do hate
I
them.
wear them because I don't want sweaty, stinky feet in my shoes.
Sure.
But given a choice, I will just be barefoot.
Okay, so you prefer no socks period.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I will eat like 3 boxes. I could, if you challenged me to eat an ice cream sandwich every 10 minutes one day, I would do it, and I would not complain.
I might go grab some actually as I head up to the store a little bit later.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I might.
Yeah, that sounds really good right now.
They had drumsticks on sale at the store the other day, and they were like Butterfinger drumsticks.
Oh.
I don't like Butterfinger, but
Like-
it had like this weird like smoky, sugary vanilla taste to it that was really good.
Okay, so like the Butterfinger bar things,
Yeah.
you're fine with, but like you wouldn't eat just like a straight Butterfinger.
No, it's the texture of the orange crud in the middle that
Okay, it's
disgusts
make
me.
your teeth all like super sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bothers me, but I like the. To me, it has like the sort of texture. Like if I like to think if I was like a big golem eating like layers of like rock, that's what it would be like. Because it feels like I'm eating, like the side of like a mountain, and you can see like all the different.
Yeah, it creates crags when you bite into it.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes me think, like, if I was like a golem in the Grand Canyon, I was like, yes, I'm gonna eat all this. Like that's what it would be like. What's your favorite candy bar?
Oh, honestly,
Be honest.
It might be whatchamacallit.
Those are good.
There are a lot of candy bars that I liked that are just not around anymore, including reverse whatchamacallit. I think it was called Thingamajig.
That's right.
Those were really good. The Big Cat, the like single Kit Kat that was just a huge bar.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed those a lot. There was a kind of crunch bar that had like caramel in the middle. It was like a fat crunch bar with like 4 sort of whatever you call that candy bar trapezoid shape.
Okay, yeah.
It had 4 of those, and they were filled with like gooey caramel, but still like the crispy rice.
That sounds good. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I eat a lot of Snickers and Twix. Those are kind of like my go-to candy bars.
Snickers are just a classic.
I'm surprised by how good they are because on paper it's just like A, it either sounds boring, or B, like it's just not. It's not exotic enough to get me excited.
Okay,
but it is actually satisfying. So I
feel good.
Yeah,
the nougat.
Yeah.
Have you had Snickers ice cream bars?
Oh my god, they're amazing.
They're perfect. Yeah, they're like that's better than a regular Snickers. Yeah, they're incredible. Reese's. I'm a sucker for peanut butter, and I can just eat Reese's Pieces all day.
Yeah.
And I got some Reese's Pieces, like a Reese's peanut butter trees, in my stocking, and I could do chocolate and peanut butter is it. That's life. That's my life. That belongs to me, Michael.
I'll take it.
Whatever I do, whenever I go to Baskin Robbins, is I'll get like chocolate peanut butter ice cream, and I'll pour like tons of like the hot peanut butter sauce all over it. Oh, it's perfect. Okay. All right. So, but tube socks. Let's discuss this. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
If you had cold feet, would you go to the ice cream? If you were freezing and you needed like some sort of, because think of how much like warmth in your body is retained through your feet. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there freezing in your house and your feet were just so cold it would make the rest of your body cold, would you still be okay with ice cream?
Here's what I would do. If my feet were so cold that I was making the rest of my body cold, I would hold the ice cream sandwiches. Maybe I'd put them on my neck or my ears, somewhere like really heat sensitive, and regulate that temperature down.
Okay.
So that it's like one of those things where have you ever like had a pain in your back or something, so you like put pressure on your foot, like a toothache, so you kind of like pick at your finger to make that hurt and take away the toothache.
I've done it before. Like when getting a tattoo, I'll sometimes do that.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
So essentially, you're kind of like giving yourself hypothermia.
Yeah.
Okay, just to justify not putting on socks.
For the sake of this argument, because I wear socks for many reasons, and one of them is because my feet are cold.
Okay.
But because I am adamant on selecting ice cream sandwich as my choice.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. All right, but if you were if there was like a dying third world baby, and you could offer him either food or warmth, what would you give him? Because let's say he's cold and hungry, what would be the priority?
And I can't just like hug him.
No,
I would give him the ice cream. Well, yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, so he's like in like a little like a container, and you can put your hand in with one of the 2 items. Awful scenario. I don't know who thought of this, but
you.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do this
strange like African baby cage.
Yeah, I'm gonna open one of these up in the store, and people are gonna have to make these decisions.
Yeah. I think I would feed him.
He can be content in the stomach while he freezes to death.
Yeah, and like
cold.
I think Well, if you eat, technically you're creating warmth because you're burning calories inside of you.
The baby doesn't have
your internal. The baby doesn't have calories.
The baby doesn't have the strength to process because it's so cold.
Okay, well let me flip this question on its head for you. Okay.
Okay.
You're on your deathbed.
Yeah.
Would you rather be warm and hungry, or
that sucks.
Yeah, or would you rather be cold but have like a delicious ice cream in your mouth? Like, that tastes good. Now I'm dead.
Warm and hungry. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Now for the satisfaction. If I'm gonna die, I'd rather take food.
Yeah.
I'd rather take a delicious ice cream sandwich.
Right. That's why we give death row inmates last meals and not like last wardrobes.
I mean,
it would be cool if you could just like wear like a badass pimp suit to the electric chair, but
that would be kind of nice. Or just really nice, like super thick tube socks.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Full body tube sock.
So if you get electrocuted, like, your eyeballs pop out of your head, does like your wiener go crazy? Like, does it get like a bunch of like blood flow going through? Do you get like a big boner while you're pooping yourself?
Yeah, I think like how when like a lightning hits a tree and it sort of like splinters off in a bunch of crazy directions?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it does.
Oh, your wiener just sort of like bursts like a hot dog.
Yeah, it looks like a koosh ball on the end of a hot dog.
Oh, that's painful. That's all your nerves coming out.
Right. All your penal nerves. Pubic nerves.
Pubic nerves. Okay. What would you rather have? I have a question for you.
Okay.
Assuming you have to choose one or the other. Your hair is like each individual strand of hair on your head is filled with blood and a nerve. Okay. So if you got a haircut, it would that's the worst. Right?
Yeah, that is the worst thought. Here comes option number 2.
Okay, option number 2. It's either your head hair or your pubic hair is filled with blood and nerves. So if you got a haircut or you trimmed your pubes or like, your pubes got stuck in your zipper or something, like it would just be like a finger getting caught in there, but it's probably going to come off and bleed everywhere and you feel immense pain.
I would go with the pubic hair.
Okay. You think
I feel that I would rather be able to like have a sort of a presentable appearance.
Yeah.
And that not a lot of sharp objects tend to be around my groin.
Well, but even so, like think about how like the nerves would constantly be rubbing against like your pants and legs all day. And
that would suck.
Yeah.
But I also think about how like that part of the body works, and it might feel just really good.
Okay.
Like if someone's just running a hand through your pubes, like very softly.
That'd be incredible, right?
Yeah.
Wow. But like think of like, have you ever like gone to the bathroom and like your pubes just fall out in the toilet?
Yeah.
Think of how bad that would hurt every single time. Conversely, I mean, unless you combed your hair delicately, that could hurt really well as well.
I've read that without doing anything to it, you lose 100 hairs a day on your head.
What about pubes?
900.
900 pubes a day. Okay, so you'd rather take more damage, and every time like one falls off, it's bleeding everywhere. So your crotch is constantly just bleeding because your pubic hairs are falling out.
Is it just me, or does everyone have this problem?
It's just you.
Oh God! All right. No, I'd probably still go with the pubes. I would just wear like a blood diaper and not let anyone see it.
Blood diaper. That's what they have in hell for old people. The blood diaper. Okay. Yeah, that's tricky.
That is. That's a lose-lose right there.
Yeah, no matter what, it's not good. Okay.
I have a question from Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron Vale. I'm not sure what.
Oh, Vale. Yeah.
Okay. He asks, "What is your favorite color?"
Yours or mine, or both?
I think it's both. I think it's Dear Cyberzone. What is your favorite color?
Dear Michael, not John. What is your favorite color? Blue?
It is blue, and yours is yellow, purple.
That's my second favorite color.
Okay, I thought it was a Wario color. Is it green?
Green. Yeah.
Okay. My thought was green. And I was like, no, it's one of Wario's colors.
That's a good guess, though. When I was little, I used to like yellow. That was my favorite. But green and purple are my two favorites.
Okay.
Basically, just think of Morgan and Lilith.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to remember.
With Wario's faces?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oreo's boogers.
I love that game.
Oreo's boogers on the 3DS? Or on the Virtual Boy?
On the 3D Virtual Des Boy.
Ooh, 3DS. Okay. That's a good color. So, like, if you play a game,
So to answer the Cyber Zones question, green. No, blue plus green is blue-green?
yeah, blue-green, there's not. I mean, there's a million different terms for it, but
Yeah.
it just gets, more, like, darker.
I'm trying to think, like, if you mix them as paints, what would you get?
I don't know. Yellow. No, I don't know. I don't know what the additive color. Okay. My friend Kat asks, if Radon was in a video game, what would it be? And I'm assuming this is just a question for me, but I also would like to hear about, like, you. I want an answer from you as well too. So, and I'm trying to decipher if you were in a video game, like which pre-existing game would you be in, or if there's a game starring you, what kind of game would it be? So
I feel like that's two separate questions.
Yeah.
If it's a pre-existing game, I want to say it's Aerobiz.
Is that mastermind of the airport?
Yeah.
Are you into simulations?
Some of them. If they're not super dense, like I really enjoy, as far as console ones, I really enjoy Aerobiz, both of them. I like the SNES port of Civilization that Koei did. Okay. In my youth, I did enjoy playing Genghis Khan quite a bit. I don't remember how to play it anymore. Mm-hmm. But Romance of the Three Kingdoms tends to be a little dense for me. Like, it's just, if I have a full understanding of how everything in the game works, like, yeah, I enjoy kind of like planning that stuff out because I'm really bad at real-time strategy. Mm-hmm. So a turn-based sim is something that does well with me.
Okay. So if you were going to be in a game, you'd probably like Aerobiz.
Yeah, I want something like I don't want the risk of dying. Like, yeah, okay, my company goes under and maybe like
an airplane crashes into your terminal like while you're inside like managing business.
Well, that's a risk that at least I accept on a daily basis. Like an airplane could crash into my house and there's just nothing I can do about that.
But like at an airport, you feel like if you're at the airport at your job, like an airplane is more likely to crash there than your house.
Yeah. But I also go to airports, and I'd accept that.
That's true. You accept the danger of being at an airport.
Whereas, like, I don't want Karnov to come shoot a fireball at me and kill me.
You just turn blue.
I don't want to be blue.
It's fair. It's a fair point. Okay. So if you're in a pre-existing game, it would be Aerobiz. What if you had to like choose like a brand new game? What if you made a game about you?
If there was a game about me, that's a good question. What would a game about me be like? Probably like a quiz game, honestly. Like, yeah.
Anticipation.
Oh yeah. Anticipation Radon edition.
Yeah. What would some of the objects be that you would draw?
I would draw probably
cheese.
A wheel of cheese, yeah. Just any circular object on it, like from above.
Just tires and plates.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be good.
What do you think about my games?
About your games? Yeah. I feel that if I were to make a brand new game with you, I want to say a platformer, but I was playing the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures the other night.
I saw that.
And like
I was angry about it.
I like the game, but like it makes me upset.
I know that people are like, it's just a character. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a shitty character. Like if that character was a person, I would hate that. I would not hang out with that character. I don't
really like watching him, and every time like you die, there's like a catchphrase of him cursing, and it's like, so I like cursing. I like cursing imaginatively, but I think a lot of cursing is used, and it's like the easy way out.
Yeah, it is. It's lazy.
Very lazy and very unoriginal, and it has to be done in like a new way, which it can be very well done. In most cases, it's not, and in his case, I don't think it is. So I feel it's very uninspired, and like the game itself is fine, but there's a couple issues that I have with it. Text box at the bottom takes up a lot of room. I don't really care for him. There's a little like movement issue in terms of control that I'm not a fan of. I don't care about him. So I want to be a platformer, but I feel like the whole thing is also based. I know it's not inside jokes. It's like the history of his character through YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't find the character to be interesting enough to care too much. But the game itself is fine. I just wish I had stuff I liked more.
It's interesting because if you look at PewDiePie has a game also. And it seems like the polar opposite, where it's just like super sunshine, like super happy. It's kind of like PewDiePie Legend of the Brofist.
Interesting.
I think you just like dap people all day with your dogs.
Okay. Weird. But that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel, except I want to imagine you like in a platformer.
Okay. I'm okay with that, yeah.
We'll do a 3D platform. We'll do like Banjo-Kazooie. No, we're going to do Dream.
Ooh.
I bet the game Dream is just a Michael Radon production.
I was Edison. I did the mocap for Edison.
Thomas Edison?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know any other Edisons. Weird Ed Edison from Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, I did his mocap.
Good. Also, Day of the Tentacle HD.
Yeah. You know, thinking about it, like a point and click for my life would be pretty good too, I think.
Oh, that's not a bad way to go. A point and click adventure would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not King's Quest, though. Because then again, you die like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a little too like abstract in terms of like you could just walk into a room and get killed for no reason.
Right.
That,
which is also true about my life, but...
Well, yeah, so that is true. You could just, walk into like your neighbor's garage and just guns are going off.
Yep.
Yeah. With Mario Maker, I was looking at some of the new stuff as well too, and I came across a handful of levels that you open a door and you just die if you go in the wrong one, and you have no way of knowing it's the wrong one. And I don't like arbitrary kind of death. You know, I like death responsibly. You know, if I don't do,
if your death is your fault.
Yeah, not the product of like strict chance.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly. So I don't like when levels have that aspect to them. But okay. And then if I had to put you in a game, I'd probably just put you in The Simpsons Wrestling.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how bad Simpsons smell?
They're yellow skin.
Yeah.
Are they jaundiced?
They have something wrong with them.
The whole everybody does, I guess. But no, because there's a handful of people that have other colored skin.
Yeah.
So why are they yellow?
Like there's a pale kid and there's Carl. Carl's black.
Right.
Hans Moleman is kind of a sickly brown.
Yeah. Do you watch a lot of The Simpsons?
I did. I don't anymore. But I like Simpsons seasons like 1 through 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about more like 2 through 10.5. I know very well.
Yeah. That is a lot of years of that show.
Yeah.
Still going, right? As far as I know?
It is still going. It was in danger of being done after this season because one of the voice actors didn't re-up his contract. I think it was Harry Shearer.
Harry Shearer, yeah, I remember reading about that.
And they negotiated in, and he joined the cast again. And I was like, well, that seems like it seems odd that they would fight that hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what Simpsons ratings are like, but I don't know anybody who watches it still.
I wonder if it was like a publicity thing where they're like, hey, remember us? Well, here's what's happening. Get excited again because it's still happening.
Right. All the voice actors you love are still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang. What a commitment. But if they love doing it, I guess. I don't know if they love doing it, though.
Maybe they're being blackmailed.
Love the paycheck. Oh, yeah, exactly. Fox executives. Matt Groening is just sitting in a laboratory with like all of them have like collars around their necks and they burst if he presses the button. Okay.
Gross.
I'm trying to think of I had a question for you when I was at work the other day, but I can't remember.
Was it about mustard?
It was not about mustard. Do you like mustard?
I like honey mustard. Honey mustard is probably my favorite condiment, and then yellow mustard is pretty far down the list.
Yeah, honey mustard I like, and Dijon mustard I like.
Yeah, I'll put mustard on a few things and enjoy it a lot. But like
Yellow
honey mustard I will put on anything and enjoy it a lot.
Honey mustard cereal.
Yeah.
Okay, honey mustard Cocoa Puffs.
No.
Well,
I don't like it that much.
Okay, I don't think so.
Is that how much you like ketchup?
No, I love ketchup, but yeah, I would not put it on cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put ketchup on most things, that's true. But yeah, certain things are just straight off limits. Any meat, I would probably put ketchup on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Meat's good.
Meat is good.
We have a question from Heffen Pfeffer. That's Heffen first name. Pfeffer, Heffen.
Okay.
He says, okay, so we see best of and worst of lists for gaming each year. What is your exact middle quality level game of 2015?
The most average game of the year?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I got to go through and remember everything that I've played this year.
I feel like just watching you play it for an hour, like my
Devil's
frame of
Third?
reference is also it's not very large frame of reference for this year, but Devil's Third is like
I was actually thinking the same thing about how it's largely it's
acceptable.
The game, yeah. It's I've played worse, but man, I've definitely played better. Like very middle of the line. I love the presentation. I think it's a really fun, exciting, silly action game that just suffers from. How did that happen with Itagaki of all people?
I think he's one of those people that is not as talented as we think he is.
Yeah, I guess having Team Ninja around was pretty beneficial to him. Because even when Ninja Gaiden 3 came out after he had left, it was the core gameplay. They just used the same engine and refined it a little bit. And having to make a brand new engine with a different studio.
Yeah. Like, we've accepted his sort of eccentricities as just like, okay, like, yeah, he likes Aerosmith a lot.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where, like, it's not necessarily that Ninja Gaiden was his brainchild. I mean, he thought of like, I want a badass action ninja game, and I'm gonna have these people help me realize it. And they did most of the work, and he did a little bit of the presentation. And so his quality or his standard was, I like fighting games, and with lots of power behind the system that's running them. Because I know for a long time that's what he always said. He said, I like systems that are more powerful. That's why he went with Xbox.
Yeah.
And he talked about that all the time, and he was very vocal about those things. But without Team Ninja, because I love the ideas of Devil's Third, I just wish it played like a better action game. Not because Bayonetta is better, because Devil May Cry or Ninja Gaiden are better games. They just happen to be better games. He had some ideas that were cool and sort of differentiating, because he said, well, I want gun combat, so it plays more like a Western shooter. But it wasn't refined enough to actually like feel like that, because we have like stuff like Gears of War, and there is like the third person over the shoulder kind of thing, which you can kind of play around with by default. If you don't aim, you can play in the third person, but the reticle is so huge that you're not really aiming, you're just sort of hoping.
Yeah.
Then when you go into aiming mode, it's only like iron sights, which is really hard to do. And I feel like if they could actually refine that a little bit, that would have helped a ton. But at the same time as well, it felt like whenever you're doing any hand-to-hand combat, chopping dudes up with machetes, and it looks kind of cool. And it's reminiscent of Ninja Gaiden, but like mildly. It's like if Ninja Gaiden were 15% of an action game, that's what the hand-to-hand combat in Devil's Third would be.
Yeah, if you got your hands on the alpha for Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, it might feel about like that. They're testing it and said, okay, this is where we're going to go. This is a stepping stone. So it mostly just feels like it's incomplete in both sort of aspects, which is kind of a shame because, again, I don't dislike it, but I can't like recommend it to people who aren't Itagaki fans. Like if a customer came in and said, "Is this game good?" I'd say you probably wouldn't like it. I'd have to say to Dave Gilligan or my buddy Mike De La O, like there's a handful of people who like Itagaki games and action games and Dead or Alive. They like those things, and I would say, yeah, you'll like it because it's Itagaki, but it's as a game without that whole facade. It's not much to write home about on any level.
Yeah.
Like at all. Oh well. But I like the music. I like the I like the characters. I like the story. Like it's fun. It's not story of the year, but it's a fun story. I don't know.
What do you know?
I don't know anything. What about you for middle ground game of the year?
I mean, I'm leaning towards Devil's Third, honestly. Yeah. I haven't played it, but just watching it, I'm like, well, this reminds me of like a B tier PS2 game.
More or less. Yeah, that's about what it is. I think the hardest part about it, though, that actually makes the aiming difficult, is that the Wii U, the dead zone for the joysticks is a little bit bigger than it needs to be, and so precision is not so good. And I was doing some comparisons with games like on the Xbox One and with the Wii U controller, and I love the Wii U Pro controller tremendously. But for like really fine precision bits, it doesn't quite like the dead zone is big, and like it's like a centimeter either way, and that makes a pretty big difference. So yeah, it's not massive, but it's massive enough to be frustrating. Okay.
We have more questions from Hef and Pfeffer.
Let's do it.
Would you buy a Rolls Royce solely to ask passersby if they have any Grey Poupon? I don't remember the commercials as well as I thought because I thought they asked the guy in the Rolls Royce.
People would pull up to the guy in the Rolls Royce, and then they would, like ask him if he had any Grey Poupon.
Is that what happened?
I'm pretty sure. Well,
that's the Wayne's World bit of it.
Maybe it was two Rolls Royces that would pull up next to each other.
There's a Rolls Royce drag race.
Yeah, exactly. Right before the race. Actually, I don't remember either. And I remember there was a joke when I was in, this is like third grade, when this Grey Poupon thing was big. And our teacher, did this one day. She's like, "Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?" And one of the students said, "The only thing I poop on is the toilet." And everybody thought it was, the funniest thing ever because when you're
when you're a kid, the name Grey Poupon is not.
Yeah. Yes, I would have been like 7 years old, about 7 years old.
Oh, I have to show you my new cup. It might be. I don't know if I want to drink out of it yet. I might pour a little water into it just to see what it tastes like because it's plastic. So you know how like your new plastic cup is not always the best tasting thing.
Right.
I'm gonna swish this around and see if I can get all the water chemicals collected and then drink that.
Okay.
Cheers.
Oh, that's a good cup. I like it. I need to get a Mega Man cup.
Yeah. I can just drink his arm plasma all day.
Oh, what if that's the only thing? Yeah. What is his plasma made of? I mean, like actual Mega Man, like white blood cells?
I think it's made out of Capri Sun.
That's what Dr. Light pours into him?
Yeah, and that's what Dr. Wily's robots are all weak to.
Capri Sun?
The power of the sun, yeah.
Okay. I love the sun.
Keeps us alive.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
All right, I have another question from TC.
Okay.
Which do you prefer, blast processing or the 100 Megashock?
Is Mode 7 an option? Because that's the number one for me. Blast processing is pretty cool, though.
It is, but I say I'd prefer the 100 Megashock because was blast processing used in anything besides Sonic 2?
No.
All right.
Bubsy. Oh, hold on. I only reason to say Bubsy. I know it wasn't actually, but because I don't know if Bubsy was ever in danger of actually running off the screen. Sonic was. The camera could not catch up with Sonic at times, which is kind of exciting. But no, okay, I think it was pretty much Sonic.
But yeah, like the 100 Megashock. Granted, like mid lifespan Neo Geo games. Like I have nostalgia for early Neo Geo games, and I really like late Neo Geo games. And the 100 Megashock games to me are all pretty not great. But I do prefer Neo Geo games. I think just like to have a dearth of games as opposed to, I think Sonic 2 is probably a better game than a lot of those games. But I would like if I had to choose, I would go Giga Power, like that sort of Garou era Neo Geo stuff.
Oh yeah, ooh yeah. Dude, Garou is so cool.
It is. It makes me sad that they've been working on the sequel to that for like a decade, and they just keep going like, nah, it's not working.
Yeah, that's sad. So here's a question for you.
Okay.
Oh man, like think of this upset. Think of we're watching the Smash Brothers presentation, and they're like, we're gonna announce our final fighters, and they show like this whole roster. They got Mario and Luigi, and they got Link, and they got Zelda, and they got Samus, and they've got the whole package. And they got Mega Man, they've got Cloud and Ryu, and like Sonic and Pac-Man. And then what if like the screen like burned up and you heard Banaku, and then Terry Bogard just flew out and just punched right in his face.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah. Bust yeah. Because that would have been like a very ultimate throwback to that era.
Yeah.
When I think of Neo, what about Bonk? I mean, nobody would have voted for him but me.
Yeah.
Bonk, because I'm thinking of like classic era characters. So that's why Bayonetta actually did take me by surprise, because I thought it was going to be more of like a classic era superstar.
Yeah.
And not quite as recent. I'm happy, but it took me by surprise.
Do you think, obviously, like it's not the case because Smash Brothers is largely a marketing tool now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do you think there should be like a 10-year limitation on characters? Like,
They have to have been out for 10 years?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that would take away some of the Fire Emblem characters, but I think having it like as like a true legacy platform, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's to say like, oh, you earned a spot in Smash Bros. Like you didn't just coast in because you're the new hotness and we want to sell your game.
Right, right. Which I know a lot of people. Well, Corrin is largely that. Even though I think Corrin looks interesting, Sakurai himself was like, "Yeah, I don't really want more Fire Emblem," but Nintendo was like, "Yeah, but the new game," and he goes, "Okay, fine." Yeah. And so, having that kind of limitation would be interesting because most of the roster would still be acceptable. I was thinking of what about Olimar, but he was 2001, so yeah, I mean, Nintendo's new IPs would be good, but
no Inklings.
That would
no Dark Pit.
Right. That's an interesting kind of like proposal for Smash Brothers to be able to be comprised only of like genuine legacy characters.
Yeah, like if they said you have to be at least 10 years old and have 3 or 5 games that feature you.
So would that so like Ice Climbers would fall under part of that umbrella, but not multiple.
Not the other. Yeah, they would be out.
Would they still? Because they'd be cut completely if that were the stipulation.
Yeah, if it was both of them.
Okay. Huh. Because I would still want to see somebody like Mike Jones, but then you also have Earthbound.
Well, if it was 3 games, Mike Jones would actually make the cut.
Is he in Captain Rainbow or like
Captain Rainbow? Yeah.
Okay, so that would be the acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
I don't think you have to star in 3 games. I think if you have like a notable appearance, like not just like a audience member or something.
Okay, that's fair. So then, what about Ness or Lucas?
Ness and Lucas would be out.
That'd be the only problem. Is I think there are certain key Nintendo characters that.
But you could put in like a Starman. I think there's Starman in Mother 3.
There are.
So yeah, you could have a Starman to represent Earthbound.
That would be interesting. I think I prefer having like the most notable characters because it'd be really strange to have a villain from one game and not like the main character at all.
Yeah,
so they didn't have Donkey Kong, but they just put a Kremling in there.
Yeah, Kremlings. Yeah, they were in like a lot of games.
Right.
Donkey Kong has been too, obviously. But.
True, but yeah. So I like the idea of the stipulation. I think the game limitation thing might be the only limit, but it would have to be a game that like has some sort of like notoriety.
Yeah, like there has to be. I think there has to be some kind of, because then you could just say like Nintendo could be like, well, we can't put any of the games that we're selling right now. So let's put the guy with the brown hair from Hogan's Alley in the game as a playable character.
Just Gangster 2. Or they could put Gumshoe in there.
Oh, I hate that game.
Yeah, but they could put him in there because I do like them dipping into their history genuinely, and the only reason the Fire Emblem characters bother me so much as a whole is because there's so many of them.
Yeah, they're disproportionate.
And because like I want a wider spread, I didn't want any more Mario characters because I wanted other franchises to get representation overall. Clones.
Yeah, we're at the point where if they put in Daisy, it's like, don't do that.
Really.
John is frozen. Let it go, John. Let it go. John is so cold that his internet pipe has frozen. Which isn't true because the reason this is happening is because he's on Wi-Fi and not on a pipe of internet.
It happens. Am I back?
You're back now, yeah.
Hi. Yeah, I still gotta like run the cable through this room. I don't know if I have one that's quite long enough, but I can get like an extender or something.
Well, if you know anyone that works at Best Buy, they get a crazy discount on that stuff. So.
Oh, I could have Buckley cut one for me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's just gigantic boxes. He could cut me like an 80-foot cable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'll do that at some point soon because I'm gonna be doing all my streaming stuff, in this room.
Yeah.
Coming.
So, anyways, you were saying we were talking about no more Mario characters.
Because like one of the big things is clones in the game don't bother me simply because I know that they're like a minimal amount of effort to put in rather than like a full new character. I might not prefer any of them, but they didn't they didn't cut.
Nope. You're gone again. Blee ba boo ba. Blee blee blah blue blee blee blah. Blah 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 blah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. I want so when I first played Smash Brothers for 64, sure they had 2 Pokemon and they were from recent games. They had both Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi. So all 3, I guess, not both. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi that were representing the Mario series, but Yoshi had sort of branched out at that point to where he was his own sort of entity. You got Link, you got Samus, you got, and then, hey, there's Captain Falcon, right? Oh, cool, F-Zero's got some rep. Oh, hey, here's Ness. Oh my god, Earthbound's got some rep. So they're sort of picking from like this spectrum of characters. And so then when they started like throwing in, Wario is sort of his own entity eventually. And they've got a handful more Pokemon because Pokemon's still pertinent and they want to throw in some of that. But then they say, okay, well, let's throw in Ice Climbers, because those are a throwback character. Let's throw in Rob because that's a throwback. Let's throw in, and they start, when they get characters like Duck Hunt in there, it makes me keep thinking, well, they have like, a rich library of characters to choose from through lots of different things. And it'd be cool for them to say, hey, here's Mike Jones. Who's Mike Jones, you may ask? Well, he's from Star Tropics. Now they're on the Virtual Console, and maybe we'll talk about getting a new one.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I, had hoped for the most part from the roster as a whole, was just dipping more into untapped IP.
And you're frozen again. Waiting on John. Waiting on John. Hey, John, we're waiting on you. Leap, deep, dooba, dooba, beep, boop, boop.
And you.
Oh, he actually like folded. All right, there he is.
Hi, I just rejoined the room. Yeah, because giving me issues. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so the problem is that they don't treat other franchises. To me, this is the problem with Smash Brothers. Yeah. They don't treat other franchises the way they treat Pokemon. Right? With Pokemon, they're like, well, there's fucking 700 of them, so we'll keep Pikachu, and we'll just rotate the rest out. But they don't like say, well, we don't really need Mario and Luigi in this game. Or, hey, Sheik hasn't actually been in the Zelda game in a long time. Let's get rid of her. And he's frozen again. I don't know if you can hear me when he's frozen. I don't know if that's a thing. I would assume not. That's not how the internet works. But unless he just has like great download speed and no upload speed. He's like super frozen. Holy poop. I have a feeling that this is an omen. This is a portent of things to come. Maybe he's just like fully restarting his stuff. I don't know. But if you have any questions for just me, I will answer them if they don't involve John. And we'll try and get caught up. Or not. I don't know. I don't care. I'm only here because you guys made me sign a contract that said I would be here. And if I wasn't here, that you could shoot me in the face. That's the only reason I'm here right now. Ooh, that could be part of the problem too. Maybe it is me. Is it me? Am I still here? Apparently I'm still here because you're back now.
Jesus Christ. I don't know what's happening. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I heard you talking about Pikachu and then like you went and then he just totally froze, and I just finally F5 and was like, no.
Yeah. I was saying that they don't treat other franchises the way they treat Pokemon.
No.
We keep Pikachu, and maybe Jigglypuff, and we'll cycle out the rest. Like, do we really need Mario and Luigi still? Do we really need Sheik? Sheik hasn't been in like any Zelda games recently.
I know. And it's funny because like I think of how much complaining people would do if it took out Sheik, but
the same goes for Falco. This to me, like having Falco in Smash Brothers still is so redundant.
Yeah, no, I agree actually. It's people are used to Sheik being like the best character or Falco being the best because in Melee they were the high tier, you know, rather than getting somebody new. They want the comfortable, good, familiar characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like you know, what we were talking about years ago with Street Fighter 3 is they took out all the characters that were Street Fighter 2 to put in a new cast, and then they're like, no, you have to have Ken and Ryu.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, okay, fine. But like starting fresh, I mean, granted, with Smash Brothers, the whole point is Nintendo characters.
Right. But if they released a Smash game that had none of the characters that were in Smash 4, that would be really weird.
Yeah, just all secondary, Mallow and
Smash Bros. Minor Leagues.
Kamek, yeah. Which I would still play the shit out of.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
I honestly, yeah. I would. There's so many characters I could choose. Groose.
Ooh.
Like if they're gonna choose another Zelda rep, I would just choose Groose. But like it's hard because, you know, if you know, I do want to see somebody like Groose. You know, if they were gonna choose like another Zelda rep, I'd want somebody who's silly because Wario has a very silly vibe and Groose has that too. But ultimately, I want there's so many things I could choose. I want Lolo.
Yeah.
You know.
He just pushes blocks at people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he turns them into an egg and then pushes them off the side.
Oh, that's mean. But yeah, you know, like I want Lolo because I think Lolo would be an interesting kind of like, who's Lolo? You know, oh, here's 3 Virtual Console games that just came out. Check them all out, and people are like, oh, this is really cool.
Right. It's a marketing tool for Nintendo, but not towards anything like in the past.
Yeah.
Like if they include Ice Climbers, like, oh, who's Ice Climbers? Mm-hmm. They were in a game called Ice Climbers. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I just accept that, and that's why I'm going to play Smash instead.
Oh, right, yeah. Or, you know, like, was it a safer route for them to say, hey, here's a Pilot Wing stage, simply because it's part of history, or for them to throw in, like, Tony and have nobody care, except for
yeah.
I would care. I would play as Tony.
Yeah, Tony would be great. He would cry every time you did a cool move.
So, you know, it's kind of unfortunate that it's relegated to market. Well, I mean, but it makes sense from a business standpoint. I know totally why they do it, and it's completely logical. But it is very difficult for them to be like, hey, here's, you know, like the final Smash Direct, and here's going to be new characters, and oh, I heard you guys like Fire Emblem, and you're like, that's pretty cool, you know. Yeah. And this new character looks way better, but it is still kind of like, you know, I was hoping for like literally a brand new franchise to show up and say, okay, we're gonna round it off with 2 completely new things.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I do like Fire Emblem, but I would like a new Fire Emblem game.
I wanted Chrono instead of Cloud. But
yeah.
That would have been my preference. You know. If I had to choose
Chrono is just Jesus though. Like, would you prefer to have Jesus than Cloud?
Oh yeah. I prefer most characters over Cloud. I prefer Biggs over Cloud.
Biggs the cat?
Biggs, yeah. Oh, John St. John. I was trying to think of like other characters I would have chosen, and I'm looking at like the Nintendo history. Because I was thinking it is kind of interesting that they didn't choose like Takamaru or whatever, because he's not really popular here, but you know, Lucas is just in the game, and as far as we know, Mother 3 is still never going to happen as far as we're concerned in the States.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are a handful of Japanese characters they totally could have thrown in there, and it would have been like, oh, well, I don't know much about this, but here's a brand new guy that America's never really talked much about.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I understand the way it goes and why they do it, but c'est la vie.
That's true. All right, we got more questions.
Okay, let's answer a couple more questions.
Since we're stuck in the snow still, which game has the best ice-themed music track?
Thinking about Donkey Kong Country.
I'm actually thinking I've been really thinking about the Donkey Kong Country 3 snow theme a lot lately because that's a really good one. I told you my story about snow music, right?
No, I don't think so.
My brother and I, when we wanted a snow day in school, we would boot up as many games as we could with snow levels and play them.
To hope that the gods were watching.
To summon the snow, yeah. And I swear it actually worked more than it didn't. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country was a staple for us, especially that one stage where the snow like comes in. That first stage of World 4 where it's there's snow on the ground, but it's not snowing when you start the level. And by the end of the level, it's just like sheeting snow.
So there's the Donkey Kong Country games.
Yeah, there's Blaster Master has really good snow music. Ice Cap Zone Act 2 is one of my favorite Sonic songs.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze has the whole last world is just icy goodness, and I really like that. It's got some good music. I'm trying to think of other Shell Penguins music.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
One of my favorites. Phendrana Drifts.
Yeah.
Dang, that's some good snow. And I'm thinking of like cocaine.
Yeah. Narc.
Yeah. Bean and Bark.
Yeah, I like them.
They need to do a Sonic fighting game to launch with the Dreamcast 2. That's the only way to guarantee it's going to be a success.
All right, more questions from TC.
Okay.
John, are you going to have to go into the mirror behind you and fight Nello Angelo?
Nello Angelo?
That's what it says. N-E-L-O.
Nello. I don't know if I understand. Nello. That word makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like mellow and yellow, but like Nello, sort of like negative yellow. Nello. Ooh. I don't know, man. Nello. Angelo?
Yeah, it's I looked it up. It's the alternate form of Virgil from the first Devil May Cry game. Like it's Nero Angelo, but I think they mistranslated it as Nello Angelo.
Gross. That just sounds like you have a baby with disease. My Nello Angelo.
Yeah.
I don't remember the end of Devil May Cry 1 at all.
I don't remember Devil May Cry 1 at all, really.
I remember the first
part. I remember like
a
couple rooms, and that's all I can really...
Flock off Featherface.
Yeah.
But I remember that because Bayonetta also said it later, and I was like, oh yeah, Dante. Now I just want to play Bayonetta.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye. And he also asks, what's your favorite energy meter style? Little lines, hearts, a solid bar, an expression-changing face?
I don't like the expression-changing face.
No, I prefer little lines because to me it's like hard numbers. I know how many points of damage I can take.
Easiest way to quantify. I don't mind even like straight numbers like, you know, an RPG.
Yeah.
RPG. But yeah, the face it's too hard to read in a pinch.
Agreed.
Yeah, like Doom Guy.
Oh, Doom. But see, Doom Guy's at least backed up by hard numbers. Like, if it was just his face, I would hate Doom.
Right. Yeah. Was it Bubsy 2? Where he had, like, an actual life meter that was like that?
I think so.
Ooh.
Bubsy 2. That game's bad.
Yeah. Oh,
Bubsy 2 is so bad that it makes me think fondly of Bubsy 1.
Yeah, no, Bubsy 1 is 1,000 times better. What happened?
I don't know. How do you not improve on Bubsy? Like, how do you sit back down and go, all right, we're doing it again?
How do you improve on Bubsy? Maybe that's the question. It's all downhill from Bubsy 1.
Yeah. Because it was.
They nailed it so. It really is. That's true. That series actually got progressively worse every iteration past the first. Is there a game that like had like a one-off entry when you were a kid that you played and you really liked and you wish there was a sequel to?
Oh, sure, tons. Stunt Race FX.
Oh.
What else?
Playmates.
I have to look at I have to look at my games.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's a handful you can look at. Because for some reason I started thinking about Harley's Humongous Adventure, and I don't think it was exceptional, but I really liked that game.
I rented it enough times to know that I don't like that game.
That's fair. That's fair.
And by enough times, I think I mean twice.
I was gonna say, like, if you rented it several times, does it mean you like it a little bit?
It just meant that I was indiscriminate with my game rental choices a lot of the time.
That's fair.
Rock and Roll Racing did get a sequel. Maybe not. Maybe I got everything I wanted in life except for Stunt Race FX 2.
I wanted Bionic Commando 2008 2.
Oh yeah, 2016.
Bionic Commando 2016. There's still time.
Yep, next year.
Exactly. Grin is coming back. I gotta do another playthrough of that game, even though there's like a full like let's play of that game on my channel. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Just want to play it every day. It's part of my trifecta of perfect game amalgamations. 2 parts. That's alchemy. Is 2 parts F-Zero, 1 part Bionic Commando.
Yeah, that's how you get gold.
A racing game with a grappling hook mechanic.
Sounds interesting.
So, Biker Mice from Mars actually had something that was kind of similar on the Super Nintendo because it was like Rock and Roll Racing.
Yeah.
But you could use, I think it was Carbuncle was the character, and you could shoot a grappling hook out perpendicular to how you were racing.
I figured as soon as you start explaining this, you start freezing. Racing my butt tonight. Get on my butt. It's time to go race. John. John. Almost. 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 Hi. Hello. Hello, hi. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, ding dong. Ding dong, hello. Hello. Doop 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 intermission song doop doop doop. Wah, 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 wah.
Yay.
Hi, you're back.
So top priority for me today is getting everything hardwired. That's going to happen like tonight. That's what's going to happen.
All right.
Number 1 priority. Okay. All right.
Forget what you were talking about.
Ice level.
Oh, grappling.
Oh, grappling hooks.
Biker Mice from Mars.
Biker Mice from Mars. Okay. So, you could go around a corner and you could shoot a grappling hook out perpendicular to your vehicle and like have it latch on to like part of the level and pull yourself around a corner and not worry about slamming into a wall. You have to let go as well, but it's a really cool mechanic that like helped.
Yeah, I was when you said that you wanted to mix F-Zero and Bionic Commando, my first thought is that you could like fall off the track and like swing your way like Spider-Man like back up.
That's actually what I had more in mind. Is like,
but I was thinking about that first Aeropolis course where there's that complete 180 hairpin turn.
Oh yeah,
and how cool it would be if you could just like shoot a grappling off to the side and just like wrap around and let go.
Absolutely.
Slingshot.
I love grappling hooks, man. Batman, Michael Keaton, Batmobile.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
You hope Michael Keaton is the next Batman?
Yeah, I actually do. God, like, okay. So I saw a preview for the new Superman versus Batman movie, and like, I don't really have investment in either of those characters, so like, it's not, you know, I don't care that it's not exactly catering towards my interest, but I think it looks really boring. So I watched the preview and I didn't feel like a single bit of tension during it, and not that either of those characters are terribly exciting to me. So again, I'm not the judge, and like, my opinion really is irrelevant. But watching Michael Keaton Batman, I'm filled with like such fun because it feels less formulaic and more like, that's weird that he's Batman, but I like it.
Right.
You know?
He's not like a big action star, so he feels like vulnerable in the role.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him, sort of do what he does, and I like sort of feeling that he's out of place. But I'm just gonna go watch Michael Keaton Batman instead.
Do it.
Doing anything? Actually, I gotta head to the store in a little bit because I gotta get your stuff all prepared. Because Trent,
he messaged you.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go get some stuff ready for him.
I appreciate it.
See what's going on. Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited. Okay, and then no Sunday night gaming because I'm sure that the
yeah, it is. We are actually under a state of emergency.
Yeah.
So
crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
No, I don't even care about you anymore.
Okay.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Okay. So we'll get ready to wrap up here pretty soon. So I can go take care of some errands and do things.
Sounds good to me.
I'm excited.
I'm done being excited. I was excited this whole time, and now I'm ready to die.
Now it's over. Okay, good. All right. This is a fun sort of impromptu little Sunday Cyberzone.
The next Cyberzone standard Cyberzone day, it was Wednesdays, of course, and that's New Year's Eve. You're frozen again. You know what? Fuck it. We might be back Wednesday. We're gonna try and be back Wednesday. Have a good night. I'm leaving. It's over.